All right, guys, welcome back to Total Disclosure. Tonight, we are revamped across all platforms. We explore the mysteries of the unknown, from sightings to conspiracy theories. We dive deep into the unexplained occurrences in our skies and on the ground. If you're passionate about exploring the unknown and are intrigued by the possibility of extraterrestrial life, then you're in the right place. Hit that like, share, subscribe button, ring notifications so you get all the updates on when we do go live. The podcast drops on the weekends, and we have a pretty good system going right now. Tonight, doing something a little bit different. This is a case that I guess I kind of glanced. Oh, not. I wouldn't say glanced over it. I I definitely listened to Weaponized. I think like everybody, I listened to every episode of Weaponized, and I do remember this case. And it was solid. But I just for some reason I just didn't check into it too much. However, tonight we have Arthur Preston, who has been really deep diving into this, and wants to let people know that it wasn't just a routine a night, and something spectacular was seen.
Yeah, thank you, Ty. So a little bit of background on myself. Kind of got into ufology around 2006 or so, out of high school. It's been a few years, going to different, conferences, just educating myself on the field. Then I kind of put all that on the back burner and went to college and got a degree in biology, and then went on to get a degree in public health with a focus on toxicology and drinking water treatment.
Oh, okay.
And then I guess last year when things started popping off with all the big news in ufology, I decided I wanted to get back into it and kind of apply my research skills and see where it takes me. So that's why I'm here.
That's awesome, man. And I think everyone, everybody gets to ufology in a different way. For me, I think, we all have our story, right? That like weaves us back into the picture somehow. And that in itself is a whole show, right? Like whether that's predetermined, like are we all supposed, I don't know. There's definitely something different about the people in this community, and I love that about it. It's got that uniqueness to it. But listen, 29 Palms, it's a military base. I actually have very deep connections to the base, which is now kind of thinking back on it. I'm wondering why I didn't look into this further or care about it more, because not only did I almost live in Oceanside with my cousin who was on going to the base, commuting back and forth between multiple bases at the time, actually. So, and I've had best friends, other family members who have been stationed at that base. So, like, I have a long history with family members in that base. So, I ran a couple questions by them today, and
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome.
yeah. Yeah. And he said it was, so I want to talk about a couple of the different things. Now, just banter with me for a few before we get into your presentation.
Sure.
Now, this case, obviously, like even just from the picture alone, it looks like similar to like the Phoenix Lights, the formation, at least, V-shaped, set of lights, set of orbs that look like they are part of a larger craft potentially, and it doesn't make noise. So is it one of our own? Because people have talked about the TR-3V Astra, and Lockheed and Skunk Works. I just want to get your gauge. Like, do you think this was potentially us?
Well, you know what they say, it's almost impossible to differentiate between, our advanced anti-gravity technology and extraterrestrial. The only reason I kind of point towards the ET for this case is because of the massive response that, after the event happened. It seemed to be something they weren't prepared for. So to me, it just doesn't track with it being, classified military technology, because you think they would do that somewhere where it's a little more secluded,
Yeah, and when I did ask multiple of my family members who, because once a Marine, always a Marine. So, I asked them, and they essentially said that if there were training exercise that were happening, and they were dropping flares, especially over that area, that they would have known about it in advance. So this is something that people would have been privy to. So and it would have been something that wouldn't have caught them off guard. And then um, what really intrigues me is how long they sustained, how long the people, the witnesses say these lights stayed in the air.
Yeah, a really long time.
Yeah,
And I think that's why everyone was coming out of their, bunks, and everyone's trying to figure out what the hell was going on. It wasn't easily identifiable by the witnesses on the ground. And these are,
right.
trained people.
Yeah, I would, if I were to say, I would say that, um, anyone who was in the military, they just have that added credibility. They've gone through rigorous training, especially depending on their job title. So it depends. But these Marines, they when now that I go back and I listen to their testimony again, um, just the determination in their voice, the absoluteness of it, of them knowing that this was not a drill or flares, um, really speaks volumes.
I agree. And I think the testimony is probably the strongest
Evidence. Yeah.
evidence as far as like persuasion. Like, you can hear it in the tone of their voices. I mean, I just think that they're highly credible sounding to me. They weren't, a lot of people are throwing around the idea that they were joking around, or playing a prank. That doesn't really track with me with when I was
Playing
listening
a
to them.
prank, yeah, playing a prank doesn't seem, because no one, I'm sorry to say that, but nobody wants to be the UFO person, especially in in the military. Um, and this is multiple. Now, maybe I could see, like if this was a group of like 50 kids, like like 20-year-olds, that would be a different story. But a group of trained military members, with ages ranging, I just don't see something like a hoax being developed like that. So
Yeah.
let's start by let's start by how did you how did you start assessing this case? How did you bring this case from start to where it is now? Walk us through what you've learned through the picture, or going back through it. So talk to me about why I should pay attention as a general person.
Yeah, so in ufology, we have a lot of different types of cases. We have like a single witness cases, we have experiencers, and then we have, larger cases that have multiple witnesses and multiple evidences associated with it. So this is a case that has a lot of evidence associated with it, because we have 5 on the record US military witnesses, we have multiple videos, we have multiple low light photos. And then we have a whole array of additional data that came through FOIA requests, which we can analyze and compare to the original videos, which is a lot of the work that I've done. So I would consider this a high quality case in that sense, that there's so much evidence associated with it. But I think it just got quote unquote debunked so fast, like immediately after it came out. Within 24 hours, we had official
So
statements coming out of Arrow.
do you think that, I'm sorry, I forgot I wasn't hardline plugged, so I'm just plugging in.
Oh, no problem.
Oh, good. My computer was giving me like a weird connection and it was like, flashing. So sorry about that, folks. Okay, so I with this piece immediately is like you said, it seemed like the baby was thrown out with the bathwater almost immediately upon the military's explanation. John, and I'm not going to say John Greenwald. He's been on the show.
Susan
I think
Go. It came out
yes.
of Susan Go.
Well, yeah. So I went back. I guess so. I guess I was talking about how it proliferated through the community. But so talk to me about what Susan Go said about it at first. What was the official response?
Yeah, the official response from Susan Go, and she emailed to Greenwald within 24 hours, was that there was no reports of UAP that night, and
Do we
that there
have
was.
that?
Yeah, I have it. It's in my slides.
Okay. How do we
I could
get that up?
I could share my screen. How about I do
Yeah,
that?
let's bring up that. Let's bring up that because I want to see what Susan Go, because Susan often comes up especially lately when it comes to the UFO topic, and she seems like a person who is not necessarily someone who's trust that it seems the consensus is the community doesn't trust her. I'm speaking from a neutral standpoint. I neither say I won't tell you what my belief is on her, but the community doesn't seem to believe her at all.
Yeah, and I think this is an interesting statement if we actually take time to dissect it a little bit. So I think the first important note is that it was given to him the same day. So the premiere was on May 23rd, and the statement from Susan Go came out May 23rd as well. So that's a really, really
That's
fast response.
yeah, that that's actually like really weird. I never actually put that together. So by the way, if anyone knows government, they know it's it's anything but quick. So I didn't realize it was that quick. Huh. So,
Yeah.
okay. So basically it reads, so this is a John Greenwald Jr. tweet for anyone who's listening in the future, because I'm going to put this on the audio platforms as well. Although I do recommend watching it because we are, Arthur has put a presentation together. So this is a tweet from John Greenwald Jr., who is owner of theblackvault.com, saying the Pentagon has responded to the claims about the alleged UAP sighted over 29 Palms. I have requests into the Marines for further comment, but for now, and then it goes into quotes, I can confirm that there were military aviation assets in the 29 Palms, California airspace, and a weapons and tactics instructor course was being conducted at the time. There is no record of communication with the base range control concerning a UAP sighting, nor of the allocation of any base resource into investigate a UAP sighting. Arrow does not have a record of this alleged event and cannot verify the authenticity of this report. Susan Go from the Department of Defense, at least as the spokesperson. Listen, when did the actual event take place?